Well, hello, my favorite people from the internet. Thanks for coming back to the sprue. As I had previously threatened before, this is now going to be part 2 of my series on the collaboration between Testors and Boyd Coddington. So this video is going to focus on this pair of kits. So we have the QuickBuilder CheZoom and the full detail CheZoom. So these kits were both offered by Revell, and yeah, follow along with me as we go through their contents. Alright, so moving right along, we start with, so this is the box lid for the QuickBuilder version, 1/24 scale, and so this is obviously a picture of the actual car in some kind of a street scene, and it says on here, engine and interior not included. So we get a little blurb here on the side. QuickBuilder kits are designed to produce authentic scale models using basic components. A QuickBuilder car results in a crisp, beautiful display model consisting of highly detailed body shell, detailed wheels and tires, and simple chassis. Note, engine and interior not included. These kits require minimum skill and yield professional results. So this was released in 1994, and this is one of the molds that was made in China, actually. So that could explain why these aren't available anymore, because Round 2 doesn't necessarily have access to these. So what else we got on here? So we have the CheZoom by Boyd, Hot Rods by Boyd, and paint callouts that you could need. What languages we got here? We have English, French, and Spanish. Oh, look at that. It's a Chevy Bel Air. Alright. So that's the QuickBuilder box. And then if we look at the full detail box, it's, CheZoom by Boyd, 1/24 scale. Obviously, these are all second and third hand, so there's some previous owners' handiwork here. This one includes the engine and the interior. And if we look at these pictures side by side, which I apparently can't get them both in, but this picture is this picture just flipped and the background kind of airbrushed out, which is kind of funny. And what does this one say on it that might be of interest? Recommended paints, CheZoom teal, and it's also made in China. So Testors and Model Master paint callouts to get all the details. And another description of the CheZoom by Boyd. And oh look, it shows it with an opened hood. Well, some assembly required, I guess we could say. And I also just wanted to note, these kits don't come with this. I repeat, they don't come with this. But the version of the QuickBuilder that I was able to get off of eBay did come with this. So this is a bottle of the CheZoom Teal Pearl, colors by Boyd, Testors Enamel. I don't know if this is still any good. I don't have any reasons to see why it would not be. I may end up using this to paint one of these at some point. Alright, so let me get the bodies and we'll start with that. Alrighty, So here are the bodies that come with both of these kits. They are nearly identical. So this is the QuickBuilder version and this is the full detail version. But as you can see, they both have the hood molded in. Looks like I've got a bent A-pillar on this one here. Yeah, so they are pretty much just the exact same molding. Just a slight difference in the color. I can't tell if that's intentional or just my lighting, or maybe the batch of plastic that they used. So everything else there is pretty much the same. The only difference that I have been able to find between the both of these is, so for the full detail version, you have to cut the hood out. It's all molded in. So in order to have the engine compartment showing, you would have to cut that out. So if you look here at the undersides of the body, you can note here on the QuickBuilder version, it's the plastic is the same as the rest of the inside. We got our ejector pin marks. But on the full detail version, we have, see if you can hear this. It has a textured detail, and there's little provisions for mounting in hood hinges. But aside from that, you can tell by all of the ejector pin marks that it's the exact same mold. There's no differences here. Yeah, so that's the bodies. Let me reset and show you the rest. Alright, this time we'll take a look at the chrome trees. This one here, this is from the QuickBuilder, this is from the full detail. One of the wheels is off for this particular incarnation of the QuickBuilder that I have. But so we can see here, this is for kit 5201, and in the full detail version, even though this is kit 5301, this tree still says 5201. And they are pretty much the exact same tree. But the one difference that I did notice, if we go back and look at the underside of the wheels, and I only have one of the fronts, so move that out of the way. We look at the front wheel here. There we go. So these two here are the rear wheels, and this one here is the front. And you can see that the mounting hole for the front wheels is actually just this big oval. And I think that's so that you can adjust the ride height to get it to sit level. But if we look at the full detail version, like the mounting boss still is the oval, but there's just a single hole in the middle. Because with the full detail version, there's more suspension detail. It's not fully detailed, but there is more detail to it. Alright, so let's look at the next batch. Here are the windows for these two kits. So the QuickBuilder here, this is the full detail. So the QuickBuilder doesn't have any suspension, engine, or interior even. So this is just a straight up piece of not quite opaque, but it's very, very darkly tinted glass. You can see number 2, and you can see those two injection, or two sets? Yeah, 4 ejector pin marks total. And then this one here is for the full detail, and so that it's transparent. But you can tell that it's really the exact same kit, or same mold. So we have our 4 ejector pins and the number 2. So really, it's the exact same piece. No differences there, just the color that it's injected in. Moving on to the tires, this is where we can start to see more of the major departures between the two versions of this kit. So for the QuickBuilder version, we have tires that are molded in regular plastic, and we also have the side mirrors, and this is the grille / lower valance piece to go into the front of the car. So these tires are, fairly low detail. They're just kind of a, solid piece of plastic there that these just slide into. If I could not launch it on the floor, that'd probably be better. All right. So you can see it's not even fully formed as a tire, right? Like we have the outer hoop, and then there's the sidewall, but that's just a little lip. And we have these little vertical pieces here to add some friction fit for the tire, or for the rim, sorry. Now the interesting thing about these wheels is that they are kind of in the Asian kit manufacturer style, where I launched it on the floor again. One moment. Okay, as I was saying, so these are kind of in the Asian kit manufacturer style, where you have the barrel of the rim, and then you have this lip underneath that goes in through the back of the tire to hold it in place. So the full detail version, we have 2 different sizes of tires. These ones are all, well, I guess they are 2 sizes. And then the full detail one, we have soft vinyl versions. And these, I think, are supposed to be Goodyear Eagle VR50s of some sort, but even on this original issue, the sidewalls are kind of wiped out, and it's very difficult to see what it's supposed to say. But yeah, these are actually really, really nice tires. There's not a whole lot of flash on them. A little bit of cleaning up right there, maybe. But other than that, that's pretty good. So this would be the front. And because it's, pretty much the exact same piece, that wheel fits in there pretty good. All right, now we'll move along to the remainder of the kit. All right, so for the QuickBuilder kit, this is the last remaining piece of the puzzle. So here we have our chassis plate that has everything molded in. And we have our front suspension, transmission, the frame, underside of the interior, a rear suspension. And although these are provisioned for screws, it looks like there's no screw bosses in the body, as we saw. So these stand off from the body quite a bit, and those front wheels are slotted to be able to accommodate this weird little peg thing. So we have the Testors Corporation, copyright 1994, Rockford, Illinois 61104 USA. Woohoo! So for the full detail version, we have this and a whole stack of trees that we'll go through. So this is actually 2 pieces, and this gives us our chassis with the extreme drop for that suspension. Because if you recall, the actual car itself has a Corvette suspension front and rear, and a Corvette drivetrain. So it's independent, sort of. So we have the fabricated chassis and we have our fuel cell. And then we have the bottom of our interior tub. So there's our little maker's mark right there. Testors, the Testors Corporation, copyright 1995, Rockford, Illinois, 61104, USA. On the inside, we have package tray, rear seats, textured carpet, and tunnel. And we have the suggestion of some pedals. So that's pretty cool. Put that over there so that it's out of view. So, our first tree that we have, just because it happens to be on the top of the stack, no particular order, we have our valve covers. Here's the top of the engine, so we have our intake manifold and then an air filter here. We have exhaust, so here's from the header back. And then we have our mufflers and tailpipes, radiator hose, hood hinges, master cylinder, alternator, exhaust manifolds, serpentine belt setup. These are the suspension uprights for the rear, suspension uprights for the front. Front wheels mount on those pegs. And there's the drive shaft. And by process of elimination, looks like this tree, this here was supposed to be over here, but it's loose in my box that I have. So this is the front suspension, which, okay, yes, so it has a more detailed front suspension, but it's still not really all that great, I wouldn't say. Because we have an engine cross member and the lower control arms all just kind of molded in this weird funky block. But then on the rest of the tree, so we have our engine halves with the transmission. It's very crudely detailed, I would say. We have our inner fender liners for the engine compartment, the core support with the radiator, and a suggestion of a fan kind of molded in. Our rear suspension with the transverse leaf, and again, really kind of crude. I think this is supposed to be the firewall as well. And so another major departure. So this is the same piece that was on the QuickBuilder kit with the tires. So this is the grill insert along with the lower valance. So these 2 pieces here make up the dashboard. So this is the face and that's the top. And yeah, it's quite smoothed. And then here we have the door panels for the interior. So it's really easy to do a lot of extra paint detailing. We have a kind of a texture here on the lower panels, so I think that's supposed to be carpeting. And then this would probably, considering that it's a hot rod from Boyd Coddington, that's probably all leather. I doubt there's any vinyl anywhere in this interior. And last but not least, we have this tree here, which has a gear selector, steering column, steering wheel. I think that's maybe also part of the steering column, or it goes on the engine. Side mirrors, more pedals, another, maybe this is part of the seats or something. Rear view mirror maybe? And then we have our front bucket seats. So the seat fronts and the seat backs. All right. One more little bit. All right, so these also come in both of the kits. So this is the QuickBuilder and this is the full detail. Now what this is foil stickers. So this gives you your cove trim for, the Bel Air. And then our license plate are Testors and Boyd's. And then we also, see if I can get this. It's also cutouts for the side view mirrors right there. And so it's the exact same piece in the full detail version. It's even got the same part number, 5201020. So 5201 is the QuickBuilder. But then we also have some decals. So this gives us the gauges for the instrument cluster, and then we have 3 of the CheZoom emblems, which are, let's see here. Yeah, it kind of looks like a badge you would see on a 57 Chevy, but it says CheZoom on it. So yeah. Okay, so we take a look at the destructions here, and this page is pretty much the exact same from version to version. It even uses the same picture in the instructions. So obviously it says here up at the top, QuickBuilder and detailed version. This one says number 5201, 5301 for the full detail. The rest of the verbiage appears to be pretty much the same. For these kits here, we can see it like extremely basic. Oh, that's why they are hogged out like that. It's so that you can do posable steering, not so that it's a vertical adjustment, it's side-to-side adjustment. Well, that's kind of neat. So we have our basic body, put your chrome trim in, side view mirrors with the chrome trim, the grille and valance, because there are no bumpers on this car, they've all been smoothed off, and put in the tail lights, and then the fin trim, put the wheels on, chassis plate with the almost opaque windshield window glass into the body. Then you got to glue it all in because it's a QuickBuilder in that it is lower detail, lower parts count, not that anything snaps together. You still got to use glue and paint to make it really look good, I suppose. And then we have our final assembly. So we put on the chrome stickers and the headlight lenses. Huh, my version might not have any lenses in there anywhere. And then the grill bar. So that's the QuickBuilder. And we take a look at the detailed version. Detail. Because it's... there's more parts to it. I would hesitate to say that it's any more highly detailed, but yeah. Alright. When it comes to these Testors and Boyd kits, I love this little part here that it starts off with in the instructions. Patience is key to obtaining neat and professional results. If you have problems at any stage of assembly, give it a break and resume the assembly at a later time. Remember, it is only plastic. Modeling is meant to be a pleasurable and relaxing experience, not a negative one. You also have to look at mistakes not as failures, but rather as learning experiences. So we all got happy accidents in our modeling, according to Testors. So you get your standard how to build a model kit kind of stuff. We got our paint code. So the engine starts to go together just pretty much exactly as you would expect, with the two halves. Valve covers the top, shows you where to put the decals. So it looks like a couple of those CheZoom decals are for the engine. Okay, so for our chassis, we start off with the chassis plate kind of thing. Our suspension lumps go in along with the disc brakes and links. And then we get our engine and drive shaft in along with the exhaust manifolds and those weird suspension uprights. Alright, and then the exhaust goes on with the mufflers. Okay. And for the interior, we add in the other pedals and the gear shift selector. Built the... I thought that was for the seats. So put seat halves together, and then we put... Looks like those are the part of the hinge mechanism. And then we build the dashboard, upper and lower, steering column, steering wheel, gauge cluster. And we put all those gauge decals in there. And then we build up the interior with the platform, add the seats, the side panels, and then put the dashboard into the interior. The interior drops down onto the chassis, as to be expected. So here we build up the engine compartment. So we have a core support, the firewall, and then the fender liners go on, and then the master cylinder. Then it looks like the engine bay mounts to the chassis rather than up inside of the body, although you might be able to assemble that, mount it to the underside of the body, and paint it all as one, because I'm pretty sure that engine compartment would be body color. And then we slap our wheels together, they mount on. Okay, what do we got here? So we put our window into the body, and then the grille and the side mirrors go on to the body, the side trim. Where it's not saying here. Preliminary painting. So then the body mounts down onto the chassis, and we got a radiator hose. Well, we still got our hood on here. Put the stickers on, grill bar, headlight lenses. Oh, here we go. Optional open hood. You may omit this step if you do not feel comfortable with the procedure. Your CheZoom makes a fine display with or without the hood open. This procedure should not be attempted by inexperienced modelers. So it's kind of like a Fujimi enthusiast kit where you can have the engine detail if you so choose, but you don't have to cut the hood open. So obviously you would want to do this before any kind of painting. Yeah, so you cut the hood out and mount the engine bay. So I think on one of these bodies, what I will do for sure is cut open the engine and then determine if it is possible to have the engine bay up mounted inside for painting. Let's see how easy that would be. Yeah. Alright, so thanks for stopping by at the Sprue again and checking out this version of the part 2 of the Testors and Boyd Coddington kit comparisons. If you like what you saw, you can do all the button pressing and the liking and the subscribing and the commenting and share to your friends, share to your enemies. And yeah, if you like what you saw, you can do all of that. If you didn't like what you saw, you don't have to do anything. I won't hold it against you. But thanks for coming in, and we'll see you all next time here at the Sprue. Thanks.